That's what say you're looking pretty good today.
I appreciate that.
I'm just playing.
You know what? Just when I thought we starting to get along after 2 years, you do some dumb shit. Now I ain't never gonna trust you again. You know that, right?
That's right.
Because we had there was an active pursuit going on. Got the plate number. Came back to a Jerome Hall.
10-4 says here on his record that he has a house over on Fudge Lane. How fast was it?
169 and a 45.
That's faster than these cars.
I kept up with him for a while.
How did he lose you? On the turns or did he lose you on the straight?
He lost me on the straight going north on Elgin.
Alright. Well, they ain't here, so seems like there's some stuff going on down at Grove. Maybe he's down there.
Worth checking out. What's it say was going on down there?
I don't know. Somebody trying to get some information or something.
Gotcha. Yeah, we can roll down there.
Alright.
Sure.
Go to the gas station. There's your check form. We'll do this. This is shit.
I have a PID on that car across from the LTD in a parking lot. There's 3 or 4 cars sitting there.
10-4, I saw it. You got the car. It's right there. You want to move in and just code 5, pull the guns out? Or you want to wait for him to leave?
I'd rather wait. I'm not 100%.
We could pull in there and I could just talk about their cars and stuff and then get a plate on it.
Let's do that. Let's just pull in and say we saw the cars, thought they looked cool, wanted to check them out.
Alright, he might recognize you. He won't recognize us, so let us go in there.
He won't recognize me. I never got out of the car.
I believe this plate.
Hey, what's good?
Not much the other day. What's up?
Oh, yeah, we saw the cars. We thought we'd stop in, say what's up. There's some nice rides out here.
Oh shit, I don't know who these shits is. We
Hey, what's going on?
Man, what the hell this thing right here?
Some nice ass cars.
That thing looks like a multi-million-dollar car. Good lord.
I don't know who these shits is. I'm trying to get a job at
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I know, right? You know who these shits is? These motherfuckers is making
I
money
don't know,
out
shit.
here.
I'm down here trying to get inside of here. I think these cars are people that's gonna get that shit done over here. So.
Oh, okay. Well, what's y'all's names?
I got COVID.
Oh, you got COVID?
Yeah, man.
That's all right. That's all right. Well, check it out, man. I'm gonna go ahead and be real with y'all. All right.
Yeah.
That car just ran from us. That plate is positively identified, so one of y'all owns that car. And since all y'all standing next to these cars, we have probable cause and reasonable suspicion to believe that one of you own that car. So I ain't asking y'all to snitch on each other. I'm asking y'all for your IDs, okay? So, who's first? What are we doing?
I got you. I'll be first.
All right. Oh, yeah, well, I guess we know who that is. Man,
Mr.
buddy,
Jerome there.
Yeah, buddy already got a warrant out, so that's cool. We'll catch him. We found him once. We'll find him again.
Damn. But, hey, like I was saying, we over there at Hayes. We fuck with law enforcement. Y'all need repairs. You know, y'all ain't got to go down to the basement. Come over there and get y'all shit repaired the right way. You know what
I respect that.
Yeah,
we got free repairs for all law enforcement. I don't want no issues with y'all boys.
Y'all got tow
I
trucks.
And come over to Pizzeria, man.
Hey, yeah,
And the
man. You
pizzeria
guys open
owner.
today?
Yeah, come
that's
down.
the owner of Pizzeria. I'm the owner of Hayes.
Okay.
Look at that. Hayes got tow trucks.
Hey, man, I could smoke
We
down
ain't
a
got no
pizza
tow
right
truck.
now. I ain't gonna
You
lie.
got no tow trucks? All right.
How we get a
Well, I'm
tow
finna
truck?
head down there now. I'll be there.
Trunk empty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's empty. You have a camera on me?
88.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, what y'all doing, brother? Hello, what you doing, man?
Hey, welcome back, man.
Posted for Hayes.
Oh, my bad. I had some. What you doing up?
Well, let me see your ID, man.
What you need my ID for? Why you need my ID?
All right, well, turn around then. Turn around.
Hold on, wait. I'm asking you why you need my ID and what am I turning around for?
You ran away, all right, with these 3 cars, 3 individuals here. You left the scene, okay? So that makes you look guilty. That's probable cause reason position. This car right here ran from us. We got a positive plate identification on the plate reader. And then we see this car here. When we pull in, you don't ID yourself and you leave the scene. So
you didn't ask for my ID. I just ran. I just ran across the street over here.
Did ask for your ID.
Oh,
so let me get your ID.
Listen, look, sir. I probably wasn't paying attention, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? So I didn't know that you was asking me for any ID. I don't even know what you'd be asking me for ID for.
All right.
I was just standing here.
Is this your car?
Yeah, this is my car.
All right, perfect. Go ahead and turn around.
What am I turning around for? Like, what did I do?
Please turn around.
Nah, you got some dirt on the back of your shoes, man.
All right, what I do though?
Thank you, sir. All right, we're gonna explain it to you. Real quick, I am gonna read your rights just so you know. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do can and will be used against you in the court of law. Your right to an attorney if you cannot afford one to be pointed to by the state. At any point in time during question, right to stop question your law be present. You understand your rights?
Yeah, I understand my rights.
With these rights in mind, do you still wish to speak with me?
Yeah, I'm speaking to you. I'm trying to figure out why the fuck I'm in cuffs, man.
Okay, all right, look.
Just cuffs.
This vehicle ran from us about 15 minutes ago, all right? It's not reported stolen, and you own the vehicle.
Yeah, I own it. It's my car.
Okay, so you ran from us.
No, I didn't run from y'all. I wasn't driving it.
Who was driving it?
Did you? Oh, so hold on. Let me get this shit straight. What's your sergeant or something? Patrolman, whatever you is. Okay, look. If y'all was chasing this car with the roof off, with the windows down, and y'all don't know who was driving, you sitting here cuffing me? Oh, man, that's terrible. Yeah, I owned it. That don't mean I was driving it.
Well, then who was driving it?
Yeah, I got people that drive my car all the time, bro.
People, okay, well then how to get
I got all this orange on. Look, I got all this orange on. Nobody identified this orange driving this car? Come on now.
Who drove it here? How'd you get here? How'd you get here?
It got dropped off here. I got dropped off here too, so I was going to get my car painted.
It got dropped off?
You didn't just see me get out this car. Yeah, you didn't see me get out this car. I've been standing here the whole time when y'all pulled up. I wasn't even in the car.
All right, tell you what. We'll investigate it further. You want to do that? We'll investigate it further. That's fine. That's fine. Like I said, you being detained, you ain't being arrested. You just being detained.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
You got anything on? You just gonna poke me, stick me, prop me any kind of way? Needles, knives, forks, spoons, needles, anything like that? Nothing like that? Knives, guns?
No, I ain't got nothing on me, brother. Yeah, I do got a knife on me though. Yeah, I do got my knife on me.
You got your knife on you? All right.
Yep, I got my knife on me.
All right. Well, I appreciate you telling me that. Yeah, knife, brass knuckles and shit. God damn. All right, man. I'm gonna take this knife and this bat and shit, and then, you know, we're gonna look at all this, and then, you know, if you ain't got nothing to worry about it, we get back to you, all right?
You don't take my bat? My bat legal? I play baseball, brother.
No, I'm saying I'm gonna take it off of you just in case, and then I'll give it back to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No problem.
All right. Come here. Did you see him?
I didn't see a driver at all. I couldn't see over the fucking back end and the wing.
Honest, he's bullshitting us. We know he was driving that car. There ain't nobody, because these motherfuckers was here the whole time.
Well, and even if we went to Fudge Lane, that's plenty of time to swing by a clothes store and fucking change clothes and shit. And it don't matter what he was wearing.
I think we got a pretty good case against him. That's easy.
I would say so as well.
What y'all think?
I think it was him. I really do. I don't know who else it could be. He never reported it stolen, and if he...
And he don't know anybody that drove it.
Well, and he can't give us a name of someone that drove it. If he says someone else drove it, fine. Give us a name. You know who you borrow your car out to. Don't tell me that. This thing's expensive.
Well, it's your guys. So, what you want to do?
Take his ass down.
Okay, go get him. Tell him
what's up. Him.
Already Mirandized him.
All right.
All right. Well, that's easy.
Easy peasy squeezy, son.
That's right.
God.
He
does not want to take that answer. He's still trying to fight it.
We're a lawyer, I guess.
Boom. I mean, he can get a lawyer. I'm more than happy for him to get a lawyer.
What's going on with my client?
God,
Lord.
you just sucked down some helium, brother.
What happened with it? What's going on?
His car just got impounded, but he ran from us.
You ran from us.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
You know any lawyers? Buddy might want a lawyer.
I'm his lawyer.
Oh, you his lawyer?
Yeah, I just came down here. I heard about it. I just got a phone call.
Who'd you get a phone call from?
Say it again.
Who'd you get a phone call from?
Mill.
Mill? Who?
Mill.
Who?
I'm having a hard time understanding you, man.
I can't understand him.
All right, well, this is the arresting officer, so. Oh, do you want to transfer your car to your car? This one right here. Corporal.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna put his stuff in your trunk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's up, man? What's going
Hey,
on? You told me.
You know Buddy in the black chair.
I don't know nobody. I'm trying to figure out why am I under arrest, brother?
You don't know what?
I'm trying to figure out why I'm under arrest, brother.
Oh,
Do it, man.
Don't
do it, man.
Here we go. Here we go.
Hey, y'all chill, man. Everybody relax.
Everybody chill out. Everybody chill out.
Drop your gun. Put your shit down. We need y'all to let our fucking partner go.
All right, I'll get him out. I'll get him out.
Just chill out, all right?
Let him the fuck out.
Everything be all right.
All this
Open
over
that door
damn
for me. Let him out.
speeding trap, man. Look at this. It's crazy. Come on out. Get him
All
out.
right, put your gun on the ground.
I'm take them cuffs off for me.
There we go. There you
Told
go.
your ass you should ain't been fucking me from the get-go,
All
man.
y'all fucking guns on the ground.
All right.
You got your boy.
He's all good. He good.
I need y'all to walk the fuck off, bro.
Okay.
Hey, Jay.
Walk
Hey,
off.
get up.
Go, walk. Every last one. Walk down the street.
Wait, walk.
Walk. Keep
Leave
going.
the cars and walk.
You get out.
Yes,
Get out.
leave the
Keep going.
cars. Walk.
Walk.
Every last one of y'all, walk. The fuck on. Keep walking.
Hope you enjoyed the service. Y'all have a good day.
Yeah. You too. Keep walking. Walk till you can't walk no more. Keep going.
Private property. Couldn't been pushing up over here, harassing our customers.
Don't look back.
Search, and then the second one, Jerome Hall. See that 69 Chevelle?
Yeah.
You gonna call that?
Call
First
him?
off, text him. Just ask him about the car. Ask me if
Wait.
he still got the car.
We need to. He's got to have some sort of like backdraft here of like, oh yeah, I worked down at so and so.
Yeah, we gotta
some
come.
shit.
We gotta come up with a backstory, and preferably
I come
not
from
in this
money.
open space of a
Yeah, so
store.
you work. You do a bunch of farming and shit.
Just fucking I'm a
Yeah, say you run the
greasy
farm
grinder,
down there.
greasy grinder.
Yeah,
I've been
greasy
fucking
grinder.
working my ass off.
And you want that car? That shit looks clean. Just text
I
him.
just texted him, asked him if he had the car.
These 30 criminals, bro.
All right, cool.
We might want to vest up. You got a vest on under that shirt?
Yeah.
Well, just don't be crazy about it, but be like, hey,
No. Just
Jerome,
trying to
right?
buy a car.
And he'll be like, yeah. All right, and as soon as that happens, you're gonna hit your panic button so we know it's positive ID, that's him. All right, so once you confirm it's him and you hit that, we can either immediately move in. Now, there's another thing we need to know is how many people he gonna have with him. Because we don't want you getting shot. So what we could do.
Yeah, I ain't trying to get fucking shot on my first day.
Yeah, well, I can see how that would be not so good. All right, so here's what we'll do. As
Ain't
soon
gonna
as you
work.
hit that button, we gonna haul ass in there. And you gonna pull out your pistol and aim it right at his fucking face.
Yeah.
It's
And then
right-
identify yourself as police.
Yep, right after you.
Heck's gonna give it to you, motherfucker. That's what I'm gonna tell him.
That's it. That's it.
That works.
All right, so as
I'd be
soon
terrified.
as you identify him, hit the button, and then pull your pistol out and tell him, this is the police, put your fucking hands up.
I just hit him up with red garage ?
All right, well, head out there and park. Just keep us informed on the radio. Make sure.
What's
make
this
sure you
dude's
talk-
name? Jerome?
Jerome. Jerome. J-R-O-M-E. Jerome Hall. Jerome. Hey, if you get any kind of suspicion, you hit that motherfucking button, will come zooming in, all right? So as soon as you get positive ID, hit the button, and then pull your gun out immediately and tell him put your fucking hands
Point it
up.
to his face.
Yep.
All right, X gonna give it to you.
Oh, he's so dead.
Shut the fuck up. Tobias, I know you might not be able to say nothing, but if there's too many and you think there's too many, don't hit the button and we won't come in. That way, you know, if you think there's too many of them, then it is what it is. I do see a white two-door vehicle at Legion Square.
He's going to get the vehicle now.
10-4, is he in that white vehicle?
Yes, sir.
How many did he have with him?
10.
10? You said he had 10 people with him?
No, just him. Just him. Just him.
Oh, okay, 10-4.
If he rolls back up with more, key up twice, really fast. White two-door sports car, looks like it's in Torno. All right, you ready? Let's go. It's go time.
Let's go.
Gun, 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 gun.
He's fleeing.
Being an active 1080. We head northbound on Elton Avenue.
I tried to get him out of the vehicle. He wouldn't step out.
Seatbelts
northbound. Oh man, that was a bump.
That was a rough one.
Yep.
We should be good on comms. Folks up here, we're all together.
Tobias, get the hell out of Legion Square. Go to Mission Road.
We gotta get this guy off the road. He's dangerous.
Easy now. Shots fired. Shots fired.
White four-door van. Box him.
That car's gonna pull away from us.
We just gotta wait long enough for it to crash. Still got eyes on northbound US Route 13 and Los Angeles Freeway.
He's going supersonic.
He has officially took us to Gapplebee's. Nope, 1050, he's wrecked. Slow up, slow up, slow up, slow up. He's on foot.
Stay back, stay back.
Be aware of more
Turn
individuals
around.
showing up.
Turn around. I got you, I got you. One in custody.
We got it, boys.
Throw him in the car, let's get the fuck out of here.
I'll take care of the impound. You guys move forward.
No, I'm gonna stay with you. That's how we do it right there, boy. That's how we do it.
That's right.
Car impounded.
Show one,
That
keep
car
on one
there's
back
yours.
around the Mission
That
Row
car
PD.
there's yours.
Oh shit.
Guys,
Hey, we need to meet.
Be careful at Mission Row. They might be there.
I'll take him to La Mesa.
Roger.
Tobias, you good? You get out of there good?
Yeah, I'm just at Mission Row. Driving by. I'm gonna go down to La Mesa. I want to meet this guy.
Yeah, good shit, man. Good shit.
Be advised, he's got 2 different IDs on him. One for Jerome Hall. The other one for another name.
That's what I'm fucking. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about.
What I'm talking about. Hopefully it's him.
It is. He had the ID on him. We'll fingerprint him and find out for sure.
Hey,
That's
catching
what I'm
bad
fucking
guys
talking
day one.
about. That's what I'm
Day
fucking
one
talking
catching bad
about.
guys.
That's what I'm fucking talking about.
Other officers to do some crazy shit to you.
I'm here to catch bad guys. See
I
that? I'm
know
catching
work,
bad
man.
guys day one.
Yeah, no, you have to have
It is
handcuffs on you.
Mr. Jerome Hall.
All right, Mr.
Oh,
Hall.
look who
There
it
he
is.
is.
Should
Called
I
up.
do the rest of the search?
You searching? You said?
Yeah, I got his
Do you
weapons
need
off
medical?
of him. I'm just making sure I didn't miss
Yeah,
anything.
Mr. Hall, you injured? Do you need medical attention from that crash?
No, I'm alright, man. I'm alright.
All right.
Oh,
I got a
okay.
little headache, but I'm cool.
Yeah, that looked like a nasty lick. How fast was you going? Like 230, 240? He was hauling ass.
What's going on here, man? What's my charges here?
Oh, okay. Well,
I'll tell you in a second. There's a whole bunch. There's a bunch of. That's it. You done?
Hey, I thought you wanted to buy my
Not
car.
yet.
No, I just want to catch bad guys. That's what I'm here for.
That's what it is, Mr. Hall. All right, check it out, man. We're gonna
He's
put
still
you
got
in here.
backpacks on him.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything in him or not.
how in depth are you going? You're going always all the way down to
if he's
the
getting a
streets
lawyer,
and everything?
if he's getting a lawyer, I'm going stupid.
You're
on
gonna
this
knit that
report.
motherfucker up,
He's
right?
lawyering up.
Okay.
He gonna need it because he's looking at a 115-month sentence and a $10,000 fine. I kind of want to go in there and taunt that motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey,
I want to go in there and be like, hey man, you said I told y'all not to mess with her. I told you not to run. What you doing? Thought you was just gonna get away, huh? God damn, I made it hazy in this motherfucker. Good
Jesus
Lord.
Christ.
Holy
Let's set up some fucking fire alarms, bro.
God damn.
I'm gonna give him one more phone call, even though I was only obligated to give him. Oh, never. Here he.
Oh,
looks
thank
like here he is. All
Hey, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good, doing good. How y'all
Can I get
doing?
your, good. Can I get your full name real quick?
My full name is Jonathan J. Smith.
All right, you're good. All right, your client is right over here. What's he getting charged with? He doesn't even know what he's getting charged in. He's talking with his lawyer and doesn't even know what he's facing.
MS1, signing out for the evening.
I'll go in there and read it to him real quick.
Okay.
It's in the MDT, right?
Hey, you got any more water?
It's on the report.
Yeah, I do.
I said, well, I wasn't driving this car. You didn't see me get out this car. Y'all was sitting there watching. You didn't see me look at this car. You didn't see me do nothing, not even go to the car. They cuffed me. They put me in fucking back of the truck. Back of the squad car. Some guys came, got me out of the situation. And I guess they just had somebody fucking undercover call about buying a car from me. I took off on them. That's why I'm here now. So I believe some charges is cool. But
you're here now for you're here now because an undercover tried to sell you buy one of your cars.
Yeah. Yeah, he told me he wanted to buy the car. I pulled up to show him the car, whatever. They surrounded me. So I ain't know what the fuck they was gonna do. I know they was gonna shoot me or whatever the fuck. So I took off because all this shit happened so fast.
Yeah.
But my whole point is that they accused me of being a person that was in a high-speed chase, and I wasn't even the guy that was in a high-speed chase. So he asked me who was driving. I said, well, somebody was using my car. I'm not gonna actually tell you exactly who was driving. I mean, I could tell you who was driving. The guy Timothy, he was driving. but it wasn't me. So then I asked
now
the officer,
Timothy's
"Did you
driving.
see the person that was driving?"
Hey,
I got
no,
on orange. My car ain't got no roof on it or nothing. So if you was chasing me for 5 or 10 minutes, you say, how come you didn't see a person with orange hat and orange jacket driving this car? So that's how all the charges became up until now.
Okay. Let me read his report really fast.
Now, so for us, if we could reasonably believe that somebody is doing something, we can still charge them with it, and then it can go to court.
Yeah.
That ain't us. That ain't us.
All right, I'll be right back.
You know, that ain't up for us to say if you guilty or innocent. But if we think
Exactly.
we have enough, we can charge you with it. It don't matter.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and open the door.
There you go.
All right.
All right.
All right. I gotta pull out my tablet again.
Sure.
Which one of you is Logan Holster?
Trooper Hoosier is currently not on shift at the moment.
Okay.
The original chase happened yesterday. And this all concluded tonight. So about roughly 25, 26 hours ago is when all this went down.
Okay. I'm gonna need a statement from Trooper Logan and his body camera footage. The chase yesterday.
The chase, the original chase.
Correct. Who would be able to identify my client as the driver of the vehicle?
Logan Hoosier. He stated on the scene that he wasn't sure who was driving. He just knows that was the plate for the vehicle, and then we found the vehicle again with the owner of the vehicle standing outside of it about 15 minutes after the chase had happened. So it was him that found the vehicle on Grove Street. It was him that originally went for the traffic stop on I believe it was a white Lamborghini, white and gray or silver. And
I don't see that on the report.
What?
The tag of the vehicle that was, impounded?
It is. It's on the report.
The tag number of the vehicle is not on the
It's in a separate report.
In a bolo.
Oh yeah, Hoosier made that separate report. Yeah, I'll have to
tag,
add that in there. This
tag number
was done today.
Is 2 Hotel X-ray 893 Romeo X-ray.
Okay, can I get that evidence sent over to my office also? You could continue. So it was only
the original incident that led to all of this was Trooper Hoosier attempted a traffic stop on a vehicle. The vehicle fled from him and lost him pretty quickly. He got him on radar and locked the plate. And then after about, I'd say, less than 2 minutes, I wasn't firsthand there, so I'm just going off of what I heard from him. He said within about 2 minutes, the vehicle was gone, completely left him. And then that was it. And then about roughly 10 to 15 minutes later, the vehicle was spotted on Grove Street. And it looked like the same vehicle, but we didn't know if it was, so we ran the plate, and sure enough, it was the same vehicle that he had previously lost.
Okay.
And he was there on that scene.
Okay.
Yeah, he showed up and positively identified the vehicle, ran the plate, and said, yeah, this is the same plate. Let's see here. So, just go sit down.
Everyone rise.
I was going to do a little stand-up comedy.
Court is being adjourned. You may sit down. Today's hearing is the state versus a Jerome Hall. The state, you may present your case in opening remarks.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, this is a case about finding justice. Here we will show you the facts and nothing less. We have substantial evidence against the defendant and will present such evidence to show that he is a danger to this city that we hold dear. We hope to provide justice to our citizens and law enforcement officers who put their lives on the every day due to people like this. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, you may present your opening remarks.
Yes. Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of Los Santos, and Your Honor, I'm going to say my client, he has a clean background. He just got caught up. doing at the wrong place at the wrong time. And I would also like to say that we're fine with some of the charges, but not all of the charges, including the new evidence that just appeared outside of the courtroom due to a lack of actual search or taken
Sir,
off.
This is just opening remarks. You're not pleading your
Okay.
case yet.
Yeah, so I'm just so yeah, that's the plea for my case, is that my client is, you know, a good citizen, and this is a little harsh.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Thank you.
Sir. State, you may present your case.
Yes, Your Honor. Excuse me. Let me get my paperwork in order here. Okay. On 08/29/2022, Corporal Trooper Logan Hoosier attempted a traffic stop on a vehicle registered to Mr. Jerome Hill. The suspect fled the stop and a bolo was placed out to apprehend the suspect that drove away from the state trooper. Okay. 20 minutes later, the suspect's vehicle that had the plate matched and was locked by a state trooper was found on the Grove Street parking lot of the Southside Tuna parking lot. Postals 9096, 9094, respectively. Other troopers were called in to investigate this area and see if the vehicle was in fact the correct vehicle, and to see if we could apprehend the suspect that was driving that vehicle. And again, this vehicle was registered to a Mr. Jerome Hall, the defendant. 3 individuals were in the parking lot when troopers walked up, introduced themselves, and asked them to present identification to see if they were the owner of said vehicle at this tuna shop. 2 of the individuals complied. 1 of them fled the scene. Once we asked for his identification, he immediately jumped into a black vehicle and took off.
Let me stop you there,
go ahead,
sir. I have a question.
Yes, sir.
When you approached the individuals at the shop, you said that you approached 2 people and then one of them fled after they presented you the IDs?
No,
or
sir.
were there more people than 2 people?
There were 3 people there at the scene in the parking lot, sir. One of the individuals fled.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Once he got into some vehicle that picked him up, and they left the scene. After they had left the scene, the state troopers, including me, decided to check the vehicle. No one was inside the vehicle, and we were going to impound the vehicle since the owner was not there and that vehicle had previously fled law enforcement. Once I myself personally started to impound the vehicle, the individual that had left the scene ran back up to me and said, "What do you think you are doing?" And I asked him if this was his vehicle. He said yes. And at that point, I told him to turn around, place his hands behind his back. He would be detained at that moment due to his vehicle fleeing law enforcement less than 20 minutes prior. The suspect was passively resistant at first, but we did get him detained and put into a patrol vehicle. After that, about 10 minutes of deliberation from the troopers and speaking to the suspect, before we could come up with any sort of, bringing him to the station to positively identify him and everything like that through via fingerprinting, roughly, I'd say approximately 10 individuals showed up at the scene with Class 1 and Class 2 firearms, brandishing them at the troopers. State Trooper Logan Hoosier, corporal who is here in this courtroom today, was taken hostage with a pistol put to the side of his temple. And they ordered us to release the suspect out of the car. At which point, when I took him out of the car, and I quote, he said, "I told y'all's ass you shouldn't be fucking with me from the get-go, man." And that was it. That's the last words he said. And from that point, they forced us down the road to the end of Grove Street, where they all fled the scene, and we returned to get our vehicles. And that was all from the 29th. As of the 30th, today, at approximately 21:30, the Major Crimes Division and the San Andreas State Patrol conducted a sting operation where we had an undercover officer pose as a buyer, where the defendant, Jerome Hall, was selling a 1969 Chevelle, black in color, and we had the undercover officer call him and ask him to meet up to show him the car. He responded, showed up at Legion Square with the car, at which the undercover officer positively identified him as Jerome Hall, at which point officers moved in when the suspect took off and fled in that 69 Chevelle. The chase lasted approximately 15 minutes of speeds going upward of 200 miles an hour through the city, at which point he crashed into multiple civilians, took out multiple street lights and mailboxes, and then fled up the highway, up Interstate 1, Los Santos Freeway, and then the merger to Interstate 13, where he crashed his vehicle at the very end of the bridge next to Bolingbrook Penitentiary, at which point the officers caught up to him and he readily surrendered to the officers.
Were there any individuals hurt besides property damage, and were any of the state vehicles damaged?
Yes, State Patrol vehicles were damaged from debris falling from street lights, out of control vehicles that were previously hit. We also did ask the suspect if he did need medical attention from his crash, because we believe, we're not sure if he got ejected or if he was, if he got out of his vehicle because it was disabled, because his car was probably about 50 miles an hour faster than ours. He just crashed it. And we weren't sure, but we did ask if he'd need medical attention, and he declined the medical attention. But no state troopers were injured in any of the chase.
Yes, sir. Would you like to call a witness?
Yes, sir, I would. The state would like to call Corporal Hoosier, Logan Hoosier from the San Andreas State Patrol.
Okay. Please approach the bench. You swear what you're about to say is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you, holy jeez.
I do.
Please take a seat here to my right, please. Continue.
Corporal Hoosier, I understand you work at the San Andreas State Patrol. Is that correct?
Yes, I do.
How long have you been working at the San Andreas State Patrol?
Approximately 5 days.
5 days. 5 days. Have you ever had a pistol pointed in your face?
No.
Have you ever had a pistol pointed in your face before you worked in the San Andreas State Patrol?
Yes.
Have you ever had a pistol pointed in your face after you started working in the State Patrol?
Define after?
Once you got hired at the State Patrol?
Not until the other day.
How did that make you feel?
It made me scared.
Made you scared. Would have made me scared too. And what did you attempt to stop that vehicle for doing?
Speeding.
How fast was he going? Do you recall?
169 miles per hour.
What was the speed zone?
45 miles per hour.
So roughly how much over the speed limit was he going?
100 plus.
100 plus miles an hour. Thank you, Your Honor. I have no further questions for the witness.
Thank you. You may sit down. Would you like to call any other witnesses?
Yes, sir. The state would like to call Staff Sergeant Jamal Wilson to the stand.
Okay. Mr. Wilson, you may approach the bench. You swear what you're about to say is the truth, nothing but the truth, so holy cheese.
So holy cheese.
Please sit down to my right, please.
You're right. Okay.
You may proceed.
Thank you. Staff Sergeant Wilson, how long have you been working for the San Andreas State Patrol?
2 weeks now.
2 weeks. All right.
Yeah.
And did you see the firearms pointed at Corporal Hoosier?
Oh, yeah.
Where was it pointed at?
His head.
At his head. How many other firearms do you think were pointed at you and me?
A lot.
Define a lot.
At least 5, 6. I don't know.
And
Everywhere.
How did that make you feel?
I pooped my pants.
Did you fear for your life, Trooper?
Oh, yes, of course. Put my hands up immediately.
Thank you.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Trooper, you may sit back in the gallery. Do you have any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right. You may sit down. Mr. Smith? Please approach the pedestal.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
All right, Your Honor. First, I would like to bring up the fact, the first fact I would like to bring up is that some of the state's representative, what he stated was not in the actual report, such as the threat that was told at that scene. That's the first fact. The second fact is my client was not verified as the actual person who ran from the state trooper on the day before, on August 29th, 2022.
Well, let me ask you, Mr. Smith. I mean, he was actually apprehended. Is that correct? And not only that, but he was apprehended by the gentleman over here. And when he was let out of the car, the gentleman did say under oath that that was defendant there.
From what I was told, I haven't been able to actually get a full-blown statement from Mr. Hosher. Matter of fact, this is my first time talking to him. From what I was told when I arrived down at the jailhouse, they were not sure if it was my client.
Okay, would you require 5 minutes to talk to your client, sir?
I already talked to my client. My client,
Okay.
he denied that it was him. Even in body camera footage, he says it wasn't him who was driving the vehicle.
Okay,
that
you know there's video evidence of him driving and
the-
arrested.
No,
After
well-
he wrecked on Highway 13.
Yes, that was today. The prior, they also added the charges from the summary from yesterday's quote unquote alleged chase that they claimed that Mr. Hall did on 8/29/2022.
Okay.
Then also, for the record, for the record, I don't know if you have seen the body camera footage or not.
I have not yet.
Okay. So when I go down, also on the report, when I go through the evidence, I did not technically hear. They said my client walked away, which is resisting arrest when they were quote unquote detained him at the body shop.
Well, that is generally, yes, that's generally the case. Yeah. I mean, if a lawful order is given, the citizen is to comply with that, sir.
Correct.
I mean,
The
that is
officer.
law.
Correct. The officer who was asking the questions, such as for the identifications, he did not specifically say that they were detained. He just asked for information and to get each one of their sides according to the body footage that I seen. Again, the body footage is really long. And then I have body footage from 2 different ones, so I haven't fully went through the body footage, camera
Okay.
footage.
It sounds like you need a little bit of time to build your case. I would definitely say let's go over the footage. Let's reconvene tomorrow at 9 EST, and that's PM. And I believe that should give you an adequate window to be able to build your case, and also give me time to review the evidence as well from the defense as well as the prosecution.
Could have been a speed.
Yes, Your Honor. 12:30 Eastern.
Great.
Tomorrow is fine.
Okay. In this case, the matter of State versus Jerome bill will be carried over until tomorrow at 12:30 EST. Trooper, if you'd like to go ahead and have the defendant and see him off, we shall close this
Go grab Lucia.
proceedings. Court is adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Hook him up. Put him in. Mr. Hall, how you doing?
You?
We're all right, man. We're all right. We'll see how this case goes today. I mean,
buckle up, brother, man.
Yeah, make sure you're nice and buckle back here. We're gonna get you here to the courthouse and hopefully begin these proceedings. I don't think it's gonna take very long, to be honest. What you mean?
Man, prison got more food than us, man.
Yeah, okay. All right, come on in. Let's go.
Courthouse.
10-4, King 108, welcome aboard.
Man's got
One
the
King
drip.
106 +1 or +2. We are 23 at the courthouse.
Troopers, Mr. Jerome. Doing good.
How's it going,
doing good.
man?
Doing good. How y'all doing?
Oh, we're good.
We're good, man.
All right, let's
I'm
go
gonna
take
ahead
our
and get
places.
him in there.
Oh goodness.
Wait.
Alright, if you just want to face away from me.
All right.
Oh god.
All right, I'm not really sure what's on the agenda for today, because I mean, it's kind of open and shut. We've got everything,
Right.
all video evidence. I'm not sure if the judge looked over all that or not.
Not either.
But I don't really know what he's gonna ask me, because I've already called witnesses to the stand, so I think it's gonna be the defense's turn to call witnesses
Yeah,
to the stand.
it should be just the defense.
All right, let me talk to
Hopefully.
him. Hey, holla at you real quick. Oh,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wrong one. Yes, sir.
So I believe.
Give me one.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
give me-
Go ahead.
give me 1 second. I got a IR phone call. Alrighty.
Good evening, Mr. Smith.
Good evening, Your Honor.
Pretty good.
Good evening, Mr. Hall.
Hey, how you doing?
Everyone stand. Court is adjourned. Please have a seat. I believe when we left off yesterday, Mr. Smith, you were about to plead your case. Do you feel that you have sufficiently familiarized yourself with the actions of this case, sir?
Yes, sir. I believe I have.
Okay, feel free to approach the podium, sir.
All right. Yeah. In the court.
I can barely hear you, sir.
1 second. Excuse me. For my pleading, it was gonna be regarding the original stop that happened on the 29th, which led all the way up to the hostage taking of the state troopers right behind me. My first argument would be assumptions and I think are not facts, no officer. And we will get to that also when I bring and call forth my witnesses. Today can't say Mr. Jerome, Mr. Smith, Hall was the driver of the vehicle that happened on the chase that initiated the whole situation with Mr. Hall. Hill. The least that should have happened was an impoundment and a continued investigation to find out who actually was driving the vehicle.
Let me ask you, Mr.
yes,
Smith.
sir.
Do you find that because this is a bench trial here, there is no jury. I am allowed to ask questions myself.
Yes, sir.
Do you feel that it's acceptable to drive 200 miles an hour through the city streets of Los Santos and 200 miles an hour in I believe it was a 45-mile-an-hour designated road, sir. Do you think that just warrants for the impounding of a vehicle?
No, sir. I wasn't making the assumption that driving over 200 miles or 169, I believe, was the exact number. Is actually legal. But my client, as you will hear from him today, he was not the driver of the vehicle. He was just the owner. Does that answer your question, Your Honor? Did that answer your question?
It did. If you'd like to call your first witness, we can continue.
Yes, sir. My first witness will be Mr. Jerome, where he can give his account of what happened that day. And I have a few questions for him. So my first witness will be my client. No further questions for my client, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. The state, do you have any questions?
Terry Jacks.
Yes, Your Honor. The state would like to interview or cross-reference the witness.
Okay. Please have a seat, Mr. Smith.
Good evening, Mr. Hall.
Hey, how you doing?
I am pretty decent, pretty decent. Unfortunately, I could not hear a good amount of your responses, but I would like to make it known to the court that officers are not required by law to specifically tell someone that they are being detained. It's impractical. However, if the individual that is being detained asks if they are free to go, then the officer will either tell them no or yes. Mr. Hall did not ask. He fled on foot, at which point officers did attempt to tell him to stop. By then, he had already jumped in a car and left the scene. Just wanted to make that clear to the court. Even if the officer does not provide full details on why they have stopped someone, for instance, the reason we did not is because we were stopping a person who was suspected in being involved in a recent crime. That is why we did not walk up and tell him he was being detained, just to clarify for the court.
Which is in the means of the law. You can detain an individual for up to 30 minutes without arresting them if there is credible suspicion of a crime.
Yes, Your Honor. Probable cause and reasonable suspicion, which we did have both.
Yes,
in the form of his license plate coming back to him and the vehicle matching, and he was on scene. Now, Mr. Hall, you said that you arrived there with those two individuals already there. Is that correct?
Yes, the two individuals was there when I got there along with my car.
Along with your car?
Yes.
Okay. Those two individuals which we interviewed at the scene stated that that car was there when they got there.
Mr. Hall?
Oh, that was a question to me, or you were just saying?
I'm stating that. So how would your car already be there if you got there after your car got there and they got there?
Okay, when I pulled up there, my car was already there. When I got there, the two individuals was there standing around. When I got out the car that I was in, I walked to the parking lot.
I get you into the
the guys standing around. We got to talking about the person that owned the shop, how long they was taking, and such and such.
Excuse me, sorry, my radio was going off. I had to cut it off. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Hall, I couldn't hear your answer to the question that your attorney asked you. Did you make a statement after you exited the state trooper vehicle once the officers were taken hostage?
I don't recall making a statement.
You do not recall making a statement?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay, I will remind you of your statement at the time, which was captured on body camera footage. I told y'all's ass you shouldn't have been fucking with me from the get-go, man. Do you recall that statement?
No, I don't.
You do not recall that statement. No further questions from the defense, from the prosecution, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Hall, you may sit down. Mr. Smith, would you like to call any other witnesses, sir?
Yes, sir. I would like to call Trooper Hoosier.
Hoosier, they calling you on the stand.
Hoosier, hurry up, they're calling you to the stand. Jamal, can I get you out here?
Trooper, do you
What's going on
swear to
outside?
tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you, cheese.
I'll be right back.
I do.
Please have a seat, sir.
Let me know how it goes.
Alrighty. Evening, Miss Trooper Hoosier.
Good evening.
Alrighty. I just had a few questions for you. On yesterday during your testimony, can you repeat for me how many days you have been a part of San Andreas State Patrol?
I believe I said 5 as of yesterday. Today it will be 6.
All right, thank you.
EMS.
For the record, because it was not written in the report that was submitted in regarding the chase, the alleged speed was 160 between 160 and 165 miles per hour, correct?
It was actually 169 miles per hour. I believe I have it written in the report.
Okay, 69. In the 45 mile per hour zone?
Correct.
Alrighty. Moving on, I have a few questions. When you initiated the chase, did you by any chance see the driver of the vehicle?
No, I did not.
Okay. Can you explain to me how the chase had went and, from the time you initiated the chase all the way up to the time that the chase was terminated?
If I remember correctly, the chase was initiated over by Legion Square. He was going, would have been westbound at 169 miles per hour. I flipped around and he failure to yield to my lights and siren. After a couple blocks, I initiated a 1080 with the subject, and he was dipping into alleyways. We went through Grove, we went through Forum, we went through the alleyways back behind Forum and the car wash. Ended with me crashing out by Legion Square. He was north on Elgin, headed towards Pillbox.
Okay, so when you first seen him, he was coming towards you, if I'm understanding correctly?
Yes, he was.
All right, so he was coming towards you. So you didn't at that time. Was he going too fast or what?
Are you a doctor?
Didn't see the driver.
He was going too fast. I was just focused on, getting flipped around to get behind him and pull him over.
Alrighty. Moving on. When y'all went down to Grove Street, according to body camera footage. Before we go there, I had some more questions regarding the chase. In the body camera footage, you stated I kept up with him for a while. Was there any other officers attached to that pursuit?
Negative.
Or clocked in at the time?
There were 2 clocked in.
But no one gave you backup during the pursuit?
No, they were busy with other duties.
Okay. So after a few blocks, just approximation, how long was the chase going on for?
Probably 4 or 5 miles.
Okay, so you were going 4 to 5 miles, allegedly with my client, for 4 to 5 miles, going well over 169 miles per hour. With no backup.
He wasn't 169 miles per hour the entire time.
Okay, so he did slow down. Okay.
Yep. He was dipping through alleys and stuff. I mean, he'd be more than a professional driver. He'd be a miracle if he did that at 169.
Alrighty. Okay, so moving on. According to the body camera footage, when y'all got down to Grove Street and seen the vehicles at the Turner shop, can you recall when you got to the mechanic shop, the tuner shop for the prosecution? And then you stated, "I'd rather wait. I'm not 100%." Can you clarify that statement for me?
I wanted to verify the plate because, you know, it's a big city. You know, there could be more than one of those cars. I mean, black and white is a pretty common color, so I wanted to walk over and verify the plate.
Okay, so you walked over to the property to verify the plate? Excuse me. Did y'all go into, before y'all pulled into the parking lot, can you describe what happened between the time that y'all was sitting and waiting all the way up to the first instance when y'all got out and met the 3 individuals?
Can you repeat the question?
From when y'all, can you describe to me the time that y'all pulled into the shop, into the business, and got out and talked to the individuals? Any radio traffic was made or anything of that sort?
Yes, we were using.
Is he looking
radio.
for?
Okay.
Mhm.
Was that a call for insufficient, or were you just whispering insufficient? I just want to make sure before I move on.
Repeat the question.
Oh, I was asking persecution. Somebody behind me has said insufficient, so I was just asking.
No.
if
We
they
were saying
making a call for
fishing.
That's not the prosecution. That's the stands back here.
Okay. Your Honor, can we also have the
y'all should
court
lower your
not
voice.
make outbursts inside of the court, such as insufficient, when they're not a part of this case?
Nobody said
yes, sir.
Nobody
Thank you.
said insufficient. by
I
the
heard
way.
him. I heard him say
No, they said
Your
fishing.
Honor.
Fishing.
Okay, that's the second outburst I didn't heard, Your Honor. But anyway.
I need the state to act professional within the court of law and adhere to the laws in which they are here to enforce. Unless you are called to the bench or directly addressed, please stay quiet. Thank you. Continue on, Mr. Smith.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. I just have a few more questions for you, Mr. Trooper Hoosier. When y'all got on scene, I noticed in the body camera when my client said that he did not hear that y'all was asking for identification. When he ran to the car, you were too far off of the body camera, didn't pick it up. Did you say anything to my client when you were running up to the car he got in?
I told him to stop, that we were trying to investigate a vehicle.
Okay,
I ordered him to stop and not enter the vehicle that he was going to get in.
Okay, I just wanted to get that because I didn't hear that on the camera. All right, and so after my client returned back to the scene, he stated that he was not the driver, and you have said that you did not see the driver. So you're not sure who the driver of the vehicle was at the time of the initial stop. Just
That is what we were investigating. Yes.
okay. Miss Trooper Hoosier, do you know the protocol, or can you explain to me the protocol of what happens when a car is in a chase, and what happens if the owner, for this instance, did not report the car stolen and he lent it out? What would be the steps that the state troopers would take in this kind of investigation?
Repeat the question, please.
Can you explain?
I believe that, I'm sorry, Mr. Smith, I believe he's asking what the standard procedure is in a situation like this.
The standard procedure would be to do what we were then trying to do, is to investigate.
Okay, gotcha. And if the outcome had came out that the person who's being accused of the chase, or during your investigation, that they were not the driver, what would be the steps that y'all would do if the owner was not the driver?
Well, first he would have to be able to prove that he wasn't the driver.
Okay, and what would happen after he proved that he was not the driver?
If he was able to prove that he wasn't the driver and show us evidence or an alibi that he was this place this time or whatever the case might be, he would be let go.
Okay, I have a question. During y'all's interrogation of him, I recall that y'all asked him who the driver was, and he stated that he did not want to disclose the driver's information to you all. So if they do that, what are the steps after that? Since he did not want to disclose, I literally need step by step of what would happen in the investigation.
I'm actually unable to answer that question. I was not aware that he said anything of that. I don't know if I was at my car, but I didn't hear him say that.
Okay, let me rephrase the question. So, if the owner could not verify at the time, because it was an active scene and everybody was there, at the time when y'all would usually get an alibi or something for the client, but since y'all did not physically see him get out of the car, since y'all did not see him get out of the car and y'all could not identify him as the subject driving the car, so the question would be, if y'all could not do that and are making that means you're making an assumption, correct?
Can you
Objection.
simplify the question?
Somebody said objection, Your Honor.
Objection. It's a compound question.
Overruled. Please answer the question.
Can you repeat the question?
The question was, if you did not have an actual visual on the driver of the car, you did not see the person get out of the car, how could you know that it was my client? So that would be based off of making an assumption, correct?
Negative. We would take it as we have evidence that he's, not providing us with who he was allowing to drive the vehicle, as then we would see it as there was no one. He's just not telling us that it was him.
By his right, does he have to disclose to you without a lawyer present, which is his right to have a lawyer present? Does he or does he not have to disclose to you who was driving the car at the time without a lawyer present?
You're asking me to answer based on circumstantial things.
I'm asking.
Story.
I'm not asking you to make up a story. My client on the scene stated to officers that he was not the driver. You, correct, being the officer who initiated the stop, did not have sufficient evidence that he was actually the driver. So my question to you is, if you cannot verify that my client was the actual driver, because you did not get a look at the suspect who was driving the vehicle, so since you did not get a look or a visual, how can you assume that my client, Mr. Hall, was the driver of the vehicle if you did not see him during the chase and you did not see him get out of the vehicle?
We determined that he was not the driver, or that he was the driver, because he could not tell us who he had loaned out his vehicle to, and he had not reported it stolen previous to the chase.
By law, so it's illegal to lend your car out to other people? So a question, it's illegal to lend your car out to other people without reporting it stolen?
No.
Yeah,
okay.
Mr. Smith, in your line of questioning, it is not illegal to lend your car out, but it is illegal not to follow a lawful order.
Correct, Your Honor. That's where I was going next.
Yes,
because it seems like that my client should have just got arrested for disobeying a lawful order until they completed the investigation.
I think that's what was happening, sir.
Correct, but my client did not want to say the person's name without his lawyer present. That's what I was getting to, Your Honor.
I understood, but I also feel that there's a relevance in what the trooper is saying by, just having a high-speed chase through the streets of Los Santos, not being able to see who the driver is, and going up running a plate, obviously, for the vehicle, and then Mr. Hall not disclosing who the driver was.
So, Your Honor, I have a question. So, if my client did not want to disclose who the person was because he was just being questioned, and he did not want to disclose
He had all the rights to ask for a lawyer and even to plead the fifth, by all means, sir.
And that's basically what he did. He pled the fifth.
But there was still circumstantial evidence at that point in time to believe that Mr. Hall was the driver of, but yet his own vehicle.
Correct, but I don't get how they would be able to say Mr. Hall would be the driver if they don't know.
Well, let me ask you, sir. Would you assume if you pulled someone over that they would be driving their own vehicle, sir?
Well, they did not pull. According to what my client said, he was not the driver, so they did not technically pull him over.
I understand that, but I'm just saying that when they found the vehicle, they tried to pull the car over that your client owns, and it fled. They cannot ID the driver, but they did ID the car.
Correct. They ID'd the car with no driver.
Exactly. So I believe once they found Mr. Hall, the owner of the vehicle, obviously they're going to question. I mean, does that sound reasonable to you?
Yes, sir. That sounds reasonable that they could question him. But if he pleads the fifth, I don't get how he was going to be charged with the initial fleeing from the troopers.
And that's what we're here today to find that out.
Okay.
Okay, continue on, sir.
Okay, yes, sir. Trooper Hosher, after y'all concluded and after you placed my client was placed inside of the vehicle of a patrol vehicle, can you tell me what happened after that point when he was placed inside of the vehicle, when another vehicle appeared to come on scene?
Out of the patrol car.
Okay, and how many individuals did you see with weapons?
I know the one that was on me with a pistol pointed to my head, and I could see two more in front of me. I don't know how many are behind me.
Okay, Your Honor, can we let the evidence also show, according to the report, there are 10 armed individuals with class 1 and 2 weapons, according to the report, but according to body camera, there is only three to four individuals present with handguns.
Yes, sir.
I mean, with weapons.
Duly noted.
Alrighty. All right, and continue, Trooper Hoosher, with what happened after Jerome, Mr. Hall was let out of the car.
After he was let out of the vehicle, they took me around to the left side of the car. They released me. They still had weapons drawn. They ordered myself as well as Trooper Jamal and Trooper Lane off the premise without our vehicles. We walked about halfway down Grove Street, and we noticed that they were fleeing the scene. So we proceeded then to give it another minute or two, and we walked back to our patrol cars. There was no one in the lot, so we felt it safe enough to retrieve our vehicles.
Okay. And that concluded what happened on the 29th, correct?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. And for the record, were you a part of the incident that happened on the 30th?
No, I was not.
All right, no more questioning, Your Honor, for Trooper Hoosier.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Would the state like to cross-examine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please approach the pedestal.
Good evening.
Good evening, Trooper.
Trooper Hoosier, have you ever received a traffic citation from a traffic camera in the mail?
Yes, I have.
What was the picture on that traffic citation that you received in the mail? There's a picture on there. Do you recall what is on that picture?
I believe it was a picture of my vehicle's license plate.
Correct. It wasn't a picture of you, though, was it?
Correct.
So that ticket went straight to you because you own that car.
Correct.
Correct. Thank you. Okay. Just wanted to make that clear to the court. And I would also like it to be known to the court that in the report, it does not state 10 suspects. It says approximately 10 suspects. And I would like to remind the court that an approximation is not the exact number. Details will be
noted.
Thank you.
Mr. Do you have any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
Trooper Hoosier, you may sit down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Mr. Smith, are you ready for closing statements, or do you have more witnesses to call, sir?
I just need clarification from 2 more officers who were on scene, Your Honor.
Yeah, please approach the pedestal.
All right, the first witness will be, Your Honor, can you advise, since one of the troopers, can you advise on this situation? One of the troopers, he's persecuting the case, so can I call him as a witness? I just want to make sure.
By all means, yes, sir.
All right, the first person who I would like to call to the stand will be Staff Sergeant Wilson.
Mr. Wilson, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you cheese?
I heard your stomach growling.
Please take a seat, sir.
Oh, man, do you have anything?
Yeah,
Did you ask him to speak up? Defense?
Yes, Staff Sergeant Wilson, can you speak up?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Speak, please.
I didn't
Thank
want
you,
to yell
sir.
at Judge here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I appreciate that, Trooper.
Trooper, Staff Sergeant, I have a few questions for you. It won't take long. The first question that I would like to ask is, can you give me a synopsis of the interaction with one of the individuals that you spoke to at the scene?
Oh, yes, sure.
Yes, sir. Can you go ahead?
I mean, basically, once we were investigating to see if the vehicle was linked to the individual, I went, talked to the 2 individuals that were standing next to the vehicle when we arrived. One of the suspects, I questioned to see if he knew the individual, and according to him, he did not. And that's pretty much how that synopsis went with that individual, if I recall.
Okay, okay. So the individual just stated to you that he did not know the owner of the vehicle, correct?
That is correct.
Alrighty. Did the regarding the, and I just want to ask it a different way. So basically, the individual did not know Mr. Hall.
According to him, that is what he said. That is correct.
Alrighty. Well, that ends my questioning for you, Mr. Wilson.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Did you want to talk to Jamal?
No.
Okay.
Do
Yeah,
you
I don't
need
have
to?
no questions for him.
I don't have any questions for him. That's kind of pointless.
The state has no questions for Staff Sergeant Jamal.
Thank you very much. You may step down, Trooper.
Okay.
Mr. Smith, do you care to call any other witnesses?
I just have one more witness, Your Honor, which is Lieutenant Jax.
Lieutenant Jax, please approach. Lieutenant Jax, do you swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you, Cheese?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please have a seat.
Good evening. Well, good morning now, Lieutenant Jax. How are you?
I'm good.
Good, good. Okay. Can you, when my client walked off or turned his back to you all, and you asked for identification according to your body camera, I want to move a little past that. And when he came back on scene, can you start right there and give me your synopsis of what happened between him starting on scene and coming back to the scene and all the way up to the point to where he was placed in the back of the patrol car vehicle?
Absolutely. We do. I would just like to start by saying we do deal with a lot of people on a daily basis, and some of my recollection could be fuzzy, but I will do the best of my ability to tell you everything I remember. So,
yes, sir. That's all I ask.
After he had left, I began to process the vehicle, to impound it, when the gentleman returned to the scene and began to ask me, what are you doing, or what do you think you're doing? Something to the effect of, why are you impounding this vehicle? I then told him that we were impounding the vehicle due to the nature of the call of it fleeing from us, and this was an investigation into that vehicle. And I also told him to stop, that he is being detained. And at that point, he became passive resistant to our commands, but eventually obeyed the commands, turned around. We placed him in hand irons, at which point I don't recall if I read him his rights or not. I believe I did, transporting him back to the state vehicle just so he knew them. And I placed him in the car, at which point I then moved to speak to the other two troopers about the individual that just came back to the scene.
Okay, okay. Can you give me a synopsis of the witness remark that from the witness statement that you had took on scene, sir?
From when we originally got on scene?
Yes, sir. From when you all pulled the other two individuals, not my client, but the other two individuals aside, and to ask them some questions.
This is after your client had left, or?
I think it was around the time you placed them in the back of the vehicle, if I'm not mistaken.
The only thing I do not recall, but I believe we asked them if they knew who he was, and at which point they both declined.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me shuffle through my notes really fast. All right. Can you give me, from moving forward, from the time that you noticed that one of your officers was in distress, getting a gun pointed at them, can you tell me, did you, before I go there, did you see my client, and before you put him in handcuffs, did you see my client make any phone calls or anything to anyone? See or hear?
No.
Alrighty. So moving forward to when the first vehicle appeared on scene, well, moving forward to when the individual had took the trooper hostage. Can you start right there? And
Your Honor, could I rephrase my answer to the last question?
Sure.
No, I did not see him call or make any calls to anyone else. However, he could have called to return back to the scene in order to get his vehicle back.
Okay. Okay. So from the time you seen that a gun was pointed at a trooper Hoosier's head, can you start right there and tell me the facts leading up to walking down Grove Street?
Yes, so I first saw a lawyer approach me claiming he was a lawyer, at which point I began speaking to him and turned around to see someone holding Corporal Hoosier hostage with a pistol to his head, at which point I drew my sidearm to protect myself, and then I believe I ran to Staff Sergeant Wilson and told him to get his weapon out. And then when I turned back around, there were a lot more individuals over there that I did not previously see, at which point I put my hands up, and so did Staff Sergeant Jamal.
Okay, and then after the release, that's when y'all started walking up the street?
Yes, after they ordered us to take the defendant out of the vehicle, they then told us to leave the vehicles. They put an emphasis on us not getting in our cars, and then leave out of the parking lot and continued to train weapons on us until we reached about 3 blocks down, almost to the cul-de-sac of Grove Street.
Okay. I want to ask a question that I skipped over earlier, that I'm just now seeing in my notes. Did you, by any chance, I seen on the body count that you received one identification. Did you get both identifications of the individuals who
I
remained
believe one did not have his identification on him, but I do not recall if we got a name. But I believe at that point is when the defendant left. And so our minds, in a law enforcement perspective, if you flee after we ask for your identification or just leave like that and take off in a full sprint, it does make you look pretty guilty. From my professional opinion, it makes you look guilty if you decide to run.
Okay. When it comes to the body camera footage, I believe, and might have to review it again. One of the gentlemen has stated no because he was good, because the other guy had gave you the ID. I'm not sure. So I might have a follow-up question on that matter. When it comes to, oh, my bad. I read that question wrong. Did you state to any of the individuals on scene that they were good? That one guy was good to give out ID? That was because the other guy did not have a driver's license or something?
Mr. Smith, could you clarify that question, please? It was a little ambiguous.
Yes, sir, I will. So the way, give me 1 second. So for the question at hand, it was, by any chance, do you recall stating at the scene to the two individuals that it was okay because one guy had given their identification?
No, but if you're referencing, I do believe I said something to that effect after the defendant left the scene. I said, it's okay. We'll catch him eventually. We have his name. I believe we have his identity because we did lock his plate and retrieve his name from our ALPRs on our patrol vehicles. If that's the instance you're referring to.
Yes, sir. I just wanted some clarification right there. Is there any kind of steps that should be taken when you are not sure who the driver is, or do you guys just lock who the driver is, or do you just basically go off of the owner's information from the plate?
So in law enforcement, there is a term called reasonable suspicion. And essentially what that means is I can reasonably assume that you did something. My job is I am not a judge and I am not a jury. I do not decide whether someone is guilty or innocent. You are innocent until you are proven guilty. My job is to take the circumstances that a crime has been committed, place as much evidence as I can, and put that evidence against someone's name. And from my perspective and my professional law enforcement opinion, we had enough to at least detain and press charges against the defendant for the crime that was committed.
Okay, so in your opinion, you believe that you had enough sufficient evidence to detain the driver based off of the ownership and him being by his vehicle?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Can you tell me the steps? So if you have more, and I just need clarification on this, when you have more than 2 individuals at the scene, and before I go there, let me ask this question before I forget. In your opinion, do you believe that there may have been a miscommunication between yourself and my defendant when asked about the ID?
Absolutely not. I believe he was in full knowing capacity when he knew that he left, because we immediately approached, asked, said, these are very nice vehicles. Well, one of these was just recently in a crime. Could you please identify yourselves so we can go ahead and cross you off the list? As we were doing, we were investigating to find who or where the driver of that vehicle was, at which point the defendant left. And I believe, in my professional opinion, he knew exactly what he was doing when he did it.
Okay, and I have a question. Do suspects of crimes usually return back to the scene while it's still inactive?
No, they do not. I thought it was very precarious that he did that, and I would have believed his story if not for the accomplices that showed up about 10 minutes later and took us all hostage.
Okay. All right. Give me 1 second. I think I might have one more question for you. Okay. And moving on from that situation, going into the major crimes unit investigation that happened on the 30th, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
It was.
Can you give me a synopsis of what happened there?
Yes, we had an officer go undercover. Let me back it up. Staff Sergeant Wilson was digging around through public domains such as Twitter, vehicle sales and everything like that, and he found that the defendant, Jerome Hall, had posted a 69 Chevelle for sale for, I believe, $240,000 roughly. So we had an officer go undercover, who is not super well known through the streets, to basically call him. I believe he texted him and said, "Hey, I would like to buy your vehicle. Where would you like to meet?" At which point the defendant responded. They exchanged quite a few text messages and eventually met at Legion Square, at which point 3 officers were staged on the west, south, and east side of the city, roughly 2 to 3 blocks apart, encircling the area, and the UC was at Legion Square, adjacent to the Fleeca Bank, at which point the defendant pulled up in the 69 Chevelle, and the UC positively identified him by name, at which point he hit a button that would let us know that he had positively identified the defendant, and we moved in. And when we moved in, I do recall hearing out of my window the individual, the UC said, "Stop, put your hands up, police," with his weapon drawn, and the defendant continued to flee from 3 marked police units and an undercover officer that had told him he was a police officer, and fled the scene.
Alrighty, and then how long did you say that the chase was going on for?
Approximately 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay, just one more question. Then after this question, I will withdraw and not have any more questions. Can you tell me the steps for? Can you tell me the steps for an active chase and the protocol that y'all use?
Absolutely. At first, it is just a traffic stop. Every time you turn your lights on, you don't know if it will be an illusion call, a fleeing and eluding, or a chase, if you will. You turn it on, you initiate a traffic stop, and after about maybe a block or two, if they do not stop, it is what we call failure to yield. They are not yielding to your lights and or sirens, at which point you will request backup and say, hello, I'm currently have a vehicle failure to yield, at which point usually units will respond to that and attach to that pursuit. At which then it will be bumped up and be called a pursuit, because you are now actively pursuing the vehicle. It is no longer not yielding to you. It's not stopping. It's trying to actively get away from you. At which point then we would like to save as much property damage and lives of the citizens and ourselves and even the suspect. But at the speeds that they were going at, I do recall saying to myself, this is dangerous. We have to get him off the road due to the speeds that we were chasing the defendant. So at that point, we do not like to pit in the city due to pedestrian walkways. Luckily for us, the defendant crashed himself into a guardrail on Interstate 13.
Okay. Thank you for giving that explanation. Now I actually have a follow-up question. So usually when a pursuit is called in over the radio, usually more officers attached to the call if available, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Hey, hold on. Jamal in here so you can see it.
Court is in session. State versus Mr. Hall. In closing remarks, please state your case.
Sorry, still collecting my thoughts. In closing remarks, Your Honor, that I would just like to state that my closing arguments would be that one, there was no actual proof that Mr. Hall was the actual driver. I believe, in my opinion, a full investigation was not fully done when it comes to the matter of August 29th, 2022. Because who knows, it could have been another it could have been one of the individuals at the scene. We won't know. So that's my case, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Please have a seat, Mr. Smith.
Oh, give me 1 second. I think I'm crashing.
Oh.
Good job.
If the state would like to come to the podium with their closing remarks, please.
Yes, Your Honor. The state believes that we have presented sufficient evidence and facts, as well as character of the defendant, and it is reasonable to believe that Mr. Hall committed these crimes. Although we are not the judge nor a jury, we do believe that we have enough evidence and character development of the defendant to reasonably believe that he committed these crimes. That is all.
Thank you very much. You may have a seat. The facts of the case have shown that Mr. Hall was
Can I get a verification? I have someone stating that he is the DA. Name is Tommy Franco.
Arrest. Possession of a stolen identification. The state could not prove that Mr. Hall was driving the vehicle. And the defense has also entered in an air of suspicion that he had nothing to do with accessory of hostage taking ×2 ×3. So my ruling is, Mr. Hall, please stand. Mr. Hall, you currently have 10 charges. You will be found guilty of arresting arrest, felony obstruction of justice, reckless endangerment, possession of a stolen identification, possession of a Class B weapon, and a Class C weapon. You are found not guilty by no contest, and I say no contest in a very strong voice, of accessory to hostage taking ×3. That being said, you have served 115 months already. So you will get time served, and you will receive a fine of $100,000. Court is adjourned.
Thank you. Does that mean my client gets to walk out with me, Your Honor?
That's what that means, sir.
Alrighty, thank you. Right this way, Mr. Hall.
Well, we didn't make them all stick, but
yeah,
got a good bit of them.
Stand right here for me. Don't go out there yet.
He can come in
Good job,
now.
Mr. Jax.
Trooper.
Yeah, that's a good job, Trooper. Good job.
I appreciate it. I'm definitely not a district attorney.
So, I would like to introduce you to the new state's attorney and also your department's attorney. The DA will work in a facet of an interim funnel of communication and information from the Department of Justice to the PDs. He will represent you and advise you on any legal matters. And also moving forward, he will have semi-judicial powers being a ward of the court in preparing the documentation for public forfeiture, public seizure, any other kind of legal matters that you gentlemen need executed in your departments as far as search warrants. Do you have any questions?
No, I'm just glad to have you aboard.
Gentlemen, this was
fun and all, but this is definitely not my forte. So I'm glad we have someone that can do it for me.
You did a hell of a job up there, Lieutenant.
I appreciate it.
I look forward to working with you guys.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah. Well, if you would all like to exchange numbers, the DA's office is across the hall as well. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
All right,
you guys. Yeah, absolutely. Let's let me get your numbers if you guys.
Never a dull moment here at court. You know, we didn't get them all.
We didn't get them all.
What was the final verdict?
The final verdict was guilty on 7 charges. Not guilty. Yeah, not guilty on 3. Yeah, there was an air of doubt that was introduced by the defense that the defendant, Mr. Hall, had really no way to communicate with the individuals that took the troopers hostage. Also, he was never ID'd in the vehicle. So obviously that had to go away as well. Luckily, though, I guess in eyes of the law, all the evading charges were doubled because there was actually 2 high pursuit chases, but the defense really just wanted to focus on the primary one.
Right.
So yeah. So that's what happened.
Nice. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Well, at least justice was served.
Yes, sir.
That's correct.
Yes, sir.